when they tried to get the water. Let's see if he told them, be careful this time, fellas.
Alabama gets a second chance and makes the most of it. They win the BCS championship behind Coach Nick Saban and quarterback A.J. McCarron.
To center field, Hyman. It's over for the first time since 1936. South Carolina, American Legion World Series champs.
Because of the talent that has come through the system. This could do it on the ground to second. And the Gators get their first College World Series championship. And they dogpile at the mound at TD Ameritrade.
Tommy Lee Lewis. Nickel Roby Coleman delivered a hit. And the two officials talk to each other. Crowd's going crazy as there's no flag right on the Saints sideline.
Well, if Nickel Roby Coleman plays the ball, it's an interception. It's probably going the other way with it. I mean, the ball's on the other side of Roby Coleman, but that should have been a penalty. And John Payton is in red-hot attack of the Green Bay Packers. What a game that'll be.
Brady and Rays come together for what is likely the final time on a football field with uniforms on, and Brady is the one who gets to celebrate after this one. And that could be it for the great and future Hall of Famer Drew Brees. 30-20, that's the final from New Orleans. Thank you for watching the divisional playoffs presented by Intuit TurboTax Live. Bucks are going to the champ game in Green Bay.
First thing I'd like to do is apologize for any undue stress or anxiety I caused with those clips in the beginning. The clips were essentially unnecessary, but they helped me build dramatic effect, and we're going to circle back to them. The second thing I'd like to do is discuss a rather large elephant in the room. No, I did not defeat Andrews, Gritty, and the Jets team. Even after that hype video. Some have told me since that loss that my team really didn't stand a chance in the first place. Maybe they're right. Maybe that's true. But one thing I've learned as I've gotten older is being right isn't always the point. Sometimes the truth isn't what really matters all the time. To quote a very famous movie line, sometimes the things that may or may not be true are the things a man should believe in the most. You see, in each of those clips, it's a heartbreaking loss because there was this expectation, there was this desire that my team was going to win. And maybe those expectations and desires were unfounded at times, and maybe they weren't. But that's not really here nor there. You see, the hope is what makes losing so beautiful. And yes, there is beauty in losing. Everyone wants to win, but there is beauty in losing. You see, hope is a wonderful thing to have no matter the outcome. You have to guard that hope, though, because the world's going to try and take it from you. Other people will try and define you. Losing will try to strip you of that hope. And each time you lose, you're faced with a choice. You can give in and let others define you, give away your hope, or you can pick yourself up off the mat, dust yourself off, and hang on to that hope. Maybe it's foolish of me. Maybe I'm a fool to believe that I can still make this playoff. Maybe it's even more foolish to believe that I can win this league. Maybe none of that's true. But I will not let this loss define me. I will not let this loss strip me of my hope. I will believe in myself. I will believe in this team to the bitter end, knowing that I could be dead wrong. But that's okay. Because that's what makes playing the game worth it. That's what makes life worth living. Hope. Hope in the face of disappointment and adversity. Week 11 recap and Week 12 picks in bulk on the way.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. You caught me in a little spar session. Welcome to Week 12's edition of Chris's Picks. We're going to do a little recap on the run as we're preparing to get off the mat. That's the theme for this week, so come on. The picks went 3-3 last week and are 34-32 on the year. Imagine throwing a football 43 times and only finishing with 2 fantasy points. That's what Dak Prescott did last week, and that's why Dalvin and the Chipmunks finished second to the Dixieland Delights. Big games from A-Bear and Eckler keep Williams' playoff hopes alive. Jonathan Taylor was roughly 16 points away from eclipsing the whole total of Harry's starters last week, giving Dill the high point total and the win against the Chubby Dubbies to remain in playoff competition. Both are 6-5. These playoffs are getting tight. Young and the Holeless beat Saquon D's handily thanks to a game from Zach Ertz that was basically out of 2018. The Mahomes have the second longest win streak of the season with 4 in a row right now. Logan started running back so bad he's no longer on an NFL roster. Despite not starting a quarterback, Eaton Dubs pulled off the upset win against Harry. Harry, if he started DeAndre Swift, he would have won. Bad trade, my guy. And finally, our game of the week, the Resilience Bowl, feels like 95. Y'all know how I feel about it. Lost to Drew, but we'll be back. We'll see that team again. Woo! Just ran a mile and a half. I kept messing up, had to keep doing takes. Then I realized, Chris, you could have faked running, you know? You could have, they wouldn't have known, but I did, and that's my dedication to this show. Folks, thanks for watching me train today, this morning. Mile and a half, I do that every morning, and this morning especially. We're on to the guest picker, folks. We're stepping into the ring now. Here we go.
Welcome to Week 12's guest picker. We're back where it all started. This is where I first had the idea to have this show. We're here with Harrison Dast, aka Billy Bean. Welcome to the show, Harry.
It's lovely to be here.
He lives here. So anyways, well, cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
These obnoxiously long Budweiser cans. So Harry, you know how this goes. I have to ask you a softball question. The theme, we're fighting this week. We're in the ring with our guest picker. It's all about picking yourself off the mat and also these playoff races, they're going to be tight. They're going to be a tight. You actually can't grab paper with the glove on. So these playoff races are tight. They're a dogfight to the end. So that's all part of the theme. Harry, we'll start with the softball question before we get into our picks. So let's just get right into it. You gave away DeAndre Swift, who was the number 5 running back, to pick up 30-year-old Cordero Patterson and Jerry Jeudy, who is the number 97 wide receiver in a crowded wide receiver room. Okay, he's got Sutton and Tim Patrick he's competing with. You did improve with the Claypool for Sutton exchange, but you gave away Rodgers and a 3rd-round pick in 2023 for it. This is all nonsense. You told me you were going to be a Billy Bean, and here we are. This is the most not Billy Bean thing I've ever seen. Can you explain these trades?
Yeah, of course. I consulted with my GM, Barrister Bean. It's actually not Billy Bean. But Barrister Bean, he has an algorithm. He worked with the former late and great, Andrew Amade before he became the terrorist commissioner that he is, to develop a cock algorithm, which graded players. Basically, it took a whole career of work, body work, and it calculated everything into one calculation. And Barrister Bean, he has an algorithm. So and usually these trades fit within that algorithm. So I trust him. I trust him 100%.
So unfortunately, we do have to go back to something you said. I don't normally say this in a serious manner, but actually explain to the folks at home what cock is.
Oh, I'm so sorry. To the fans at home.
I think we got some
Clash
different
of
ideas.
Clans. It was a very popular video game that was played on the phone that we were very passionate about. And I'm still passionate about this team. So I'm proud of our trades, and I'm rolling with it.
So he used an algorithm to make his team worse. That's essentially what it boils down to.
They laughed at Billy Bean when he traded away his team.
Yeah, and they're still laughing at him today. So, anyways, we'll start easy with like the picks. With the picks, like we always do. This tall boy is getting to me. So we'll start off with the first game: Gritty and the Jets versus Saquon D's Nuts. Drew's 11-0. Not looking like that's going to change anytime soon with his opponent. It's essentially a bye. Josh Allen is great, but he's also got the worst O-line in the NFL, and they're playing against a pretty good Saints defense. I've got Drew in this one pretty easily.
I'm a big fan of the underdog, and that's going to be evident in a lot of my picks today. I think Jack pulls this one off. I think he's the one to dethrone the king, who is Drew, and then to take the commissioner spot possibly by the start of next year.
Wow. So we've got upset alert. Jack LaForge, who has been good for nothing basically all season, he's going to dethrone the commissioner at 11-0. That's an interesting take, but you know what? I like it. I like the different take, the different spin on this show. Harry's taking a very non-serious spin to the show.
As opposed to your very serious spin.
Hey, I'm above 500. Anyways, all right, moving on to the next pick. So we've got the Chubby Dubbies versus the Dixieland Delights. This is going to be a close one. In fact, bump me, it's a playoff decider. Okay, so here we go. We got the Chubby Dubbies, Dixieland Delights. I think that it's going to be close, but DeAndre Swift gives Scott a great dynamic backfield. He pairs him with Chubb. Who he got DeAndre Swift from, we'll never know. But Eckler and Barrett, they're solid. But every time I pick William, he never shines in the moment. So I can't pick William. I'm going with Scott in this one.
Well, then I'll help you out. I'll pick William. I think he gets it done. DeAndre Swift, he was a great player. A great locker room presence, a tough guy to part with, and he's on a great squad with the Chubby Dubbies now. But yeah, no, I just feel like I can't pick against Austin Eckler. I think he's a great player. I do love Justin Herbert as well, so I'm a rock with William on this.
Okay, I don't know who Herbert is, but I know who Bear is. Anyways, moving on to the next one, we've got Steven Stogies versus the Young and the Holeless. You know a little bit about this Young and Holeless guy. It's a must-win for me. Okay, Aaron Jones is still out with his MCL sprain. I had to pick up Dontrell Hilliard
who could be a wild card in this one. So watch for Dontrell. He's my best friend this week. He might go off. No K1 or Tyreek Hill for Daniel. But expect big games from Najee Harris and Leonard Fournette, especially after Ronald Jones stole a tutty from Leonard Fournette last week. I'm picking myself simply for the fact that it's a must-win for me. If I don't win this game, my playoff hopes are basically nil. So I've got to win.
Crispy, I'm with you on this. I think the Stogies pull this out. It is very tough for me to pick against my namesake.
Right.
My one and my hopeful, my young ho. But also, I have a lot of hate for that squad, just for the fact that he picked him out of spite.
Yes.
And he knew that would piss me off.
He actually auto-picked.
And he auto-picked. He left the draft. He said, goodbye, y'all. And then he picked Young Ho, and he texted me after. I'm pretty sure it was just ha-ha. Was the message he sent.
I thought it was genius.
So I'm going with the Stogie.
That's trolling to a genius level. But I appreciate you going with me. It is a must-win for me, and I hope that I'm able to pull this one off. Next on the list here, we've got Team Takeout versus Eating Doves and Crabs. I think this one's a snooze fest. No insult to Logan Hornung, but Blake is going to get his second win in a row against a team that's extremely hurt. Logan's got injury problems. He's got locker room issues. Hopefully he can correct it in the offseason. I think he's probably the GM to do it, but this season is a total wash for him.
This is a tough one because I think the actual underdog, according to standings, is Blake. Mm-hmm. But I think we know who the underdog coming into this is. And you know what? I'm going to go with Logue. I think Logan pulls this one off. I think Tom Brady puts up, 85 points, something like that. All to Mike Evans. That would help his cause. And, I think Logan gets back on track this week.
So for those of you wondering at home, Harry is actually on the same hallucinogen today as he was when he made those trades back.
I'm playing chess,
15 weeks ago.
Not checkers.
Okay. Hey, what'd you start with? We don't want to get into chess. We don't want to get into chess jargon because
this is London.
He's not running a London system, that's for sure. That's a very fundamental system. We don't want to bore our audience at home though, and show how much of nerds we are. The next one on the list is Team Madho versus the Obi-Wan Mahomes. So this is you. Harry's Team Madho. Dave is the Obi-Wan Mahomes. This is a tight matchup. Another playoff decider. Okay. Playoffs are on the line here. No Patrick Mahomes. I think the question is, how does Big Ben play? That's who Dave's next starter is. Tough matchup for Dave with Mike Pittman and A.J. Brown. They've got the Tampa Bay Bucks and the New England Patriots. Harry, I'm going to be honest with you. I've got you in a very close one. Here.
Appreciate that, Crispy.
Yeah.
Dave put some things in the league chat today.
Yep.
Some slander against Tyrod Taylor, who is a veteran of this league. He plays for an outstanding organization in the Houston Texans, and I think even if they had Patrick Mahomes playing this week, Tyrod Taylor would still flame him. I'm coming for your throat, Dave.
Okay.
Coming for your throat.
And I instantly regret picking Harry. All right.
I think Dave's team's gonna remember that they're 0-1 versus us when they're walking out of that locker room. And I think that's going to affect them.
Okay. Well, I actually do agree for the time being. Don't make me change my mind, though. I do agree that you do beat Dave this week, so it's going to be interesting. Playoffs are on the line. You need a win in the worst way. Dave needs a win as well. He's really got some momentum here, but we'll see what happens. And then last on the list here, it's our game of the week. Okay, so we've got Down in the Chickmunks versus Suck Up on These Toes. This is actually the Let Me Get You a Drink at the Tailgate Bowl. We've got Dan and Dylan. And it's sponsored. It's sponsored by Holy Matrimony. So, anyways, Dylan's undefeated also when he changes his name. He won last week again, and he's changed his team name again. And
he knows it, man.
And I'm actually picking Dylan this week, but not for changing his team name, actually. This is huge in playoff implications here. Okay, this is going to be a close game. I think Dylan wins if Kareem Hunt plays. This is so close. This is game of inches type stuff. I do think Dylan pulls it out, though. What's your call?
Yeah, I got Dylan all the way. One, he's the underdog, so that helped make my decision early on. But two, I know his quarterback through and through. It was tough to part ways with him as well. He's a good guy, but I think he'll find a better fit over there on Dylan's team, the suck up team. I'm not really sure what the first part of it is now.
Something on toes or something.
Okay. No longer wince in my pants.
No longer.
But yeah, no, I think that team's got some momentum, man, and I think they're going to take this.
It's a tight playoff race all around for a lot of teams. I think you've got a legit 3 or 4 teams vying for the last few spots here. Obviously, some people have already locked up the playoff spot, but those people are unimportant, as each game is a new season, each week is a new week. Harry, that's been the show. I mean, do you have any parting words? I mean, I think your method here was just who's the underdog, and that's who I'm picking. Was that be a fair assessment of
it was
method?
Yeah, it was at the theme of my picks.
Yeah.
And that was basically it.
So we'll leave you with this. This is actually going to be the first time in Chris's Picks history we have a fan poll. So on the left of your screen, or I guess my left, your right, you will have an option for Harry to shave his mustache. And on the other side of the screen, you have the option for if he should keep his mustache. So quickly, at home, vote. And we'll see who wins. And Harry has agreed to abide by the poll results.
I will.
Yep.
What the league says goes, apparently. I tried to get my hoe back early in the season, and we just decided to make it a rule that anybody can vote on this. And the league decided that they would rather see me unhappy than happy with young ho on my side. So
this is extremely
I guess
true.
I'll just go with it because that's the theme of the season.
This is extremely true. Folks, that's been the picks. Harry, thanks for being on the show. It was an honor for you to come in at a perfect time for the boxing theme. We're glad you could make it here at your house.
It's been good, Chris, man. Thanks for having me on. It's been a dream of mine to be on such an outstanding show.
It's the hottest show on YouTube.
On a great platform, and just happy to be here, man.
Sponsored by Sturgis. We'll see you next week.